what's up everybody? Welcome back to Lothringer's Garage. Today we are going to start doing the main hoop for my 1970 Porsche 911 project that I have going on. Starting to feel like a mouthful saying that thing. So we're just going to start referring to it as the 911. So we're going to go through a couple things. One of those is going to be the kit that I got from Centurial Fabrication. It's a template kit to build the roll cage. Kind of helps visualize everything before doing any of the bends. We're also going to go through the type of tubing that I'm using for this project. Along with how I'm figuring out the math and how to make this actually work. I've done a couple test pieces. I figured out a couple things that I kind of screwed up on. So I want to make sure that I share those so that you guys don't end up making the same mistakes. To be honest, tubing is really expensive. So if you can learn something from this video, that'd be great. I'm happy to share it. So then all the bending that we're going to be doing is done with the affordable bender that I put together a couple videos back. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get into the Centurial kit that I picked up. So this is the kit from Centurial Fabrication that I picked up. It is honestly just some straight pieces along with some 90-degree bends. They offer the straight pieces in 1-foot sections and 2-foot sections. Then you have left-hand bends and right-hand bends for your fab kit. And what this allows you to do is go ahead and start figuring out, with your centerline radius for your die. So for instance, we're using 1 3/4 inch tubing. So we have a 7-inch centerline radius for this tubing bender that I have. And the template is actually, 1 3/4 inch thick. So you get an idea how close you're going to be to everything when you start putting this together. So I went ahead and put this into the inside of the car. And what I'm building is I'm going to be doing the bottom mounts off of these sheet metal templates down here. We're going to be running up along the side here. I want to follow this pillar up and then hitting into our roof line. So the goal here is to have somewhat of a tight fitting cage that is going to hug the body, and that's going to give us a strong base to start on. So now we're in the back of the 911. As you can see in the last video, we went ahead and cut the wheel wells out and cut into the partial shelves so that we can start getting the wheels in here and get an idea of what our fitment's going to look like and how much room we have to work with. I started to figure out my plates that I'm going to be welding to the unibody structure. I went here in the corner with this bend here because I feel like this is the strongest point with the roll cage coming down. It's got this sort of triangle effect right here for additional stiffness. This is the Centurial kit. So this is a 2-foot run, an 80-degree bend that I cut 10 degrees off of a 90-degree bend. You can see it right here. So it's just being able to cut it and adjust it. Another 2-foot run here on the top, and then another 80-degree bend, another 2-foot down. Now the goal for me is to match this run for the pillar here because I want to be able to look through the back window and be able to see the roll car or the roll bar kind of meeting and conforming with the body of the car. I think that's pretty sweet. We have a little bit of a gap up here, but that's fine. This car is not going to be used for road racing or anything like that. This is really just to give our chassis some structural rigidity. Now, after you get the main hoop installed, we're going to end up having to do some bars down to the back. Our rear suspension is going to be hanging off of a bar that's going to be down here since we have to cut the torsion tube out. And really, the whole idea of this is to build structure for the car so that we have something to work off of. Now, with that tubing notcher that I showed, we'll be able to figure out what our notch needs to be to meet this. Come along up here and then bend down to come down to the bottom here and meet where our knee bars are going to end up at. We'll end up having a knee bar running right here along the dash. So I'm pretty happy with how it has come together. And we'll go ahead and start taking this template and transforming it into some tubing. Now we have our tubing all marked up. So what I'm doing is, since my bender is offset, we actually start our bend here at the first mark, which is going to be roughly 2 inches from our mounting location, which honestly is kind of not the best design because this bracket's right in the way. But we know that our slot is 1 inch wide. So I went ahead and used some 1-inch tape. So what we're going to try and do is start our bend here where it's actually marked. So with that, we're giving ourselves 1 inch of clearance. So we know that we need to put the strap and have it tight right here on the left side of the tape. So when we get it into the die, we know that everything's going to be set correctly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now we got our main hoop bent. You know, you can see that template was super helpful. Now, are my bends perfect? Probably not. Is it pretty straight? Seems like it. You know, I'm doing my best with what I have, so, but I'll take it for what it is. We should be well within the hoop for the car. We have our 80-degree bends on each corner, roughly, you know, following the outside diameter. Looks like we're in a little bit far, but that's okay. And then same thing over here. So, you know, with this being a 911, there's really no roll cages for this thing that aren't, you know, $1,500, $2,000. And even with that, a lot of them are bolt-in cages. And with what we need to do for this, we need to have a nice, strong, sturdy cage that we can build off of and provide a lot of structure for the car. I got this thing in the car after a little bit of trimming on the bottom. So this is roughly where I want it to sit. So we're tucking up nice close to the headliner. We're gonna end up cutting the bottom here to fit the angle along the side here. And then that's gonna bring us a little bit closer to that lean that I wanna get for the run along the pillar there. But I mean, overall, for my first time ever bending a main hoop for a roll cage, I'm pretty happy. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing kind of, get the bottoms cut, and we'll get it back in here with the plates. All right, guys, it's been a couple days. We got some more progress done on the car, so I went ahead and got our plates somewhat welded in so they're not going anywhere. The main hoop is tacked in place. We have a little bit of flex so we can play with it. The biggest piece of advice I have for trying to get this set up in the car is ratchet straps, ratchet straps, ratchet straps. I was able to run one off of the steering wheel along with off of the pins on the back, kind of hold this thing, get it where I wanted before I tacked it in place. Went ahead and cut off the bottom of the main hoop to even everything up and provide the angle that we want for the slope. As you can see, the floor pan isn't exactly straight. So we got that thing put up there. Our next step in the next video is going to be making our bar that goes from the corner running along the roof here down our windshield, which you'll see is now not here anymore. And we're going to end up running it right to the floor down to the bottom here. These are going to be fun. It's not a straight bend like how the main hoop is. We're going to have an offset here, probably about 15 degrees or so, so that we can follow this pillar here and then tie into the floor. So that's going to be fun to figure out. And then we'll end up getting this all set in place and eventually end up doing some gussets here along the windshield frame to tie into the cage. It's something that I like to see. I prefer that. Adds a little bit more strength as well. I mean, who knows how much, but I think it looks cool. Already here, already got the windshield out, might as well do it. Something else I noticed, like I said in one of the first videos, this car was originally orange, which you can see now the dash pad's off. Kind of a shame, but it is what it is. So I think the purple's still gonna look pretty cool. So we also got tires on our wheels here. So we got some 275 35 18s all the way around on the wheels. So we're gonna go ahead and get use that for our mock-up purposes and make sure that we have some clearance. I want to say thank you guys for following along so far with this project. I've said it a couple times in the video, but this is my first time doing roll cage, so I'm sort of learning as I go with the affordable bender, figuring out our tube bends. Once I get everything done, I'll probably make like a tip and trick beginner guide, just the things that I learned and some of the tools that helped out a lot doing this. It's a really big task, I think, for somebody that, you know, is used to making a couple brackets, or even when it comes to like my C10, building a C-notch or a step notch out back, like there's kits. You're really just cutting stuff off and putting a different piece of metal in place. There's nothing custom really about it. It's very easy to do compared to bending and planning and fabricating a roll cage and the amount of work that goes into that. So this is an integral part of putting this project together though. So once the roll cage is complete, we'll be able to finish weld it, start building our jigs off of it for the front cross member, which I'll end up doing a video on that down the road a little bit more as to how I came up with that. We got some parts that just showed up for our lower control arms from Eurologic that'll give us some adjustability. So that'll be good to get the front suspension tied together and then also provide the support we need on the rear suspension in order to replace the torsion tube and start putting some tubing back there to build our rear suspension our mounts off of. So looking forward to knocking it out. Summer's coming around here in Michigan, so not sure how much progress we're going to get done as things start to get busier and we get out of winter. My plan right now is to probably end up getting a mini split AC system for my garage so I can be out here when it's, 75, 80, 90 out and still be able to work comfortably. Problem with Michigan is the humidity, as some of you probably know. So it'll be good. Just kind of keep knocking things off the list and keep putting up some videos, and hopefully you guys are learning something, or at least being able to follow along with the progress. So I appreciate all the comments, the likes, the subscriptions. It means a lot. I'm doing this really just to showcase the amount of work that goes into something like this. So thank you to all those that are interested, and looking forward to talking to you guys in the next video. Take care.